hello, namaste, namaste. And a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to our show, In Our Humble Opinion.
Ayo!
Yo. Okay. All right, and with me, I have my panelists. On my right is Gilbert Cheah, Prof. Gilbert Cheah,
Yes.
our in-house expert on
Chua.
everything. And on the left, I have Chris Henson,
Thank
who
you.
keeps giggling for no rhyme or reason. So just
No
bear
reason.
with us.
Lots of reasons.
Okay,
A lot of
all right,
reasons.
just bear with us. Okay. So now it's me, Daisy Irani, cool grandma. Actually, it's been a really hot day, so I'm going to be hot grandma today. All right.
Okay.
So, hooray!
That one you can't say
Good
yourself.
tidings to you I bring again. Christmas is around the corner, and we have really good news for you because the vaccine is here.
Hallelujah.
And it's free for Singaporeans and long-term residents. But it's not mandatory. Unlike mask wearing and unlike safe distancing, having this vaccine is not mandatory. Do you think then that it will work for us in Singapore? We also have good news for those who have been unemployed for the past 3 months due to COVID, and they are going to get something special which is going to jingle in their pockets. We're going to discuss what. Phase 3 is opening. We are all aware of it. The announcement was made. How is this going to impact our lives in the new year? And last but not least, our favorite story, the idiot of the week. Okay, this story is quite steamy today, so hang in there and listen to the whole program because while something steamy was happening in the car,
There's
there
a
was,
hot kote.
of course, another person over there
Literally,
just
was
filming
involved.
everything that was going on. So,
That's not a hot kote.
Let her finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She's nonplussed.
All right.
okay.
Right.
So, thank you. We are going to continue today because I have no clue why they're giggling like two naughty boys on either side of me, but I'm just going to tahan and tolerate. So first, let's go to the important story. The story of the vaccine being here in Singapore and why is this not mandatory and how is this vaccine coming to Singapore affect our economy, our lives. I'm going to turn this over to our Prof. Gilbert, who's the expert. Gilbert, what do you think the fact that the vaccine is not mandatory?
Okay. Singapore mandates a few vaccines which are for children. But generally, it does not mandate vaccines. And in this case here, these vaccines are relatively, well, they're very new. So they've not had what are called long-term trials. So generally, for example, a vaccine like the measles vaccine has been used for decades. So you know, over many decades what the results are. For the COVID vaccines that are being developed, because they are being rushed out so much, they've not had time, obviously, because we've only had COVID for 1 year to do long-term trials, okay? So let me just state clearly from the beginning that these vaccines are safe for the majority of people and that they have gone through all of the very stringent clinical trials. What do I mean by clinical trials? You know, when you read online, very often you see people who I really do believe are just trolls because they're saying things like, oh, the government should, ministers should be the first ones to get vaccinated, etc., etc. Before they were even released, they already went through the specific Pfizer COVID vaccine that we're talking about, that Singapore HSA has approved, has gone through 43,000 tests. That means to say, being tested by 43,000 people in 150 clinical trials across the world. So this has been tested with different age groups, with different ethnicities, with both men and women in different age groups, to see the effects of it. So it's been very thoroughly tested. Now, they have ascertained, and HSA has looked through all the clinical data and realized that, and ascertained that it is safe. So people do not have anything to worry about here. I know that there were questions about the people who, for example, had allergic reactions to it. Now, you can be allergic to anything. All right. There are people who are allergic to food, and these people who had severe allergies were people who knew they had severe allergies. They were carrying around an EpiPen their allergies were so severe that they knew that they were very sensitive and they were carrying an EpiPen around.
Right.
So when they got this, they did have an allergic reaction, but the chances of this happening for the majority of people are infinitesimally
Correct.
small.
So,
Right.
so we understand what you're saying. But the fact is that Singapore has always maintained most of the time that no, there are certain things which need to be done for the greater good. Now, in this instance, where obviously once you open up, once the vaccine's there, you're doing this because you want the economy to get better. So you're going to open up and there's going to be travel and there's going to be people moving around, coming from abroad. Now, in which case, again, my question would be that when Singapore has always said that we make decisions for the greater good.
Yes,
In
I
this
know what
case,
you're saying.
Yeah. So
Do you
why
need to mandate
is
it? No, it
not
doesn't. No.
mandatory?
First
Because-
of all, people cannot think that the vaccine is a silver bullet that will solve everything. Let me give an analogy so that everyone understands, okay? Imagine that the country is a house. This is your house, and you want to protect your house from burglars. So, mask wearing is your front gate or your front door. That protects the burglar from coming in. But, so everyone still has to have to have the front door, okay?
Correct. So that's mandatory.
Yes, that's mandatory.
Correct.
Because that's essential,
Right.
right? Then, what if one burglar manages to come in to your house? Because that's possible. Even though you have a front door and front gate, one may sneak in. Then the virus is like a guard dog that's inside the house that will
Right.
rip apart anyone that comes inside. And that is the vaccine.
Right.
Okay.
But these burglars come in, just one burglar, and you have decided that because it is not mandatory, I do not need a guard dog. And obviously, no guard dog, this burglar that's come in, will burgle my house and I will get it.
No, I
And
understand what you're
we've
saying.
noticed what has happened, whether it is in Korea, in the nightclub, in Hong Kong, those tai, the dancing classes which they were doing, where this just started the horrible
No, I
chain of
understand.
So
To cut
I
this-
think it's more important to understand what is the reason. Look, the government wants to respect our choices.
Yes.
Fair enough. I sincerely hope this becomes a habit with the government all the time.
Let me put it
respecting
this way,
people's
okay?
choices. Okay, let me ask Chris what he thinks about the fact that it is not mandatory. Look, it's great news. Of course, we are rejoicing. But will it work if not each and every Singaporean?
Yes, that's my answer to you. Yes,
Okay,
it doesn't
all
have
right,
to be
let's,
mandatory.
Let's ask
Yeah.
Chris. What do you think about this, Chris?
Before I answer that question, I just want to add on to what Gilbert had said.
Right.
Dr. Sean Basil, Clinical Director from the National Center for Infectious Diseases, he said this, that because people are so worried about this vaccine being so rushed, so let's try to put this to bed.
Yes.
He said that this type of vaccine, which is the mRNA, the messenger RNA
Correct.
type vaccine that both Pfizer and Moderna had developed, they're not new. This type of vaccine has had a history of development to combat cancer and is considered new only because it is now used to fight an infectious disease. So actually, it's been around. New only because it's being introduced now to fight this pandemic. And he said, again, while it may be faster to develop mRNA vaccines, it does not necessarily guarantee clinical efficacy. And if a vaccine candidate fails in terms of efficacy or safety, it will be back to the drawing board again.
Yes.
Now, ultimately, this does not mean that pharmaceutical firms or regulators are cutting corners. Now, efficacy, as far as we know it, for both these vaccines, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about 95% efficiency or efficacy.
Efficacy, yes. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's bloody good enough. And it's not a new thing. Now, whether or not we should be mandating it, let me tell you what happened this morning. I was at one of my usual coffee shops where I have a bunch of friends. And I tell you, I got into a pitched argument with them because Gilbert, Daisy, here are the things they raised, which really got me riled up. And one of it would be, this one, Ang Mo develop one. Ang Mo develop one. We not Ang Mo no. What makes you think that this one will suit our DNA? I said, you professor, You know all about DNA, you bloody mangkuk, right? Number one. Huh? The other one is this. There's still no guarantee of immunity. Okay, wait. No lah, I'll wait and see lah. See what happened to other people. That's
Right.
the most
Right,
responses.
right. Wait and see approach.
The
Yes.
other one is Sinovac. The one from China. I'd rather take that one because I China also. Okay? Bloody stupid. No? Okay, the next one. Sinovac. I don't want to take because a lot of people still don't trust it. Okay? Now that one is I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, however, interestingly though, it has been said in Singapore by our medical panel experts that they are hoping to see 60% or 2/3 of our population to be vaccinated. It is not about the vaccine, it is about to be vaccinated. That is the most important key. Being vaccinated. It's not about the vaccine. And they're saying that if we have 60% at least of our population vaccinated, herd immunity within the enclosure of our small island could likely happen.
Correct.
So ideally, we need to see that, right?
So ideally, you need to see at least 60% vaccinated.
Yes.
And therefore, if you talk to most people, like your friends who you met in the coffee shop, most of them turn around and say, let's wait and see the effects of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because currently they feel safe. And okay, look at me. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm in a safe environment, 1. 2, I'm not planning to travel. 3,
I'm
I'm
used to
going to
wearing the
continue.
masks.
Yeah, I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to be continuing this way. So I don't have this mad rush of getting vaccinated.
Therefore-
I'm going to wait and see.
Therefore,
Now-
this was my answer to these guys.
Right.
My answer to them was, listen, stop being so damn selfish. Because by doing this, you are going to ensure that this pandemic on our shores continues, There will be no bloody end, right?
But then if that is the case, we come back to the question.
Correct,
then,
which is where I'm going to
then why-
answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer the question. Because there are dingbats all around us, there's so many, you read the posting comments in some of our major broadsheets online, and there's idiots who say rubbish.
Yep.
I feel make the damn thing mandatory on the condition that
Yeah.
people
People who
who
have
go into
allergies.
anaphylactic shock.
Yeah.
People like me, I don't know whether I'm in that category. Something for you to think about, please, and advice too, if you can. Like, I've got allergies. My mom has got, a lot of allergies. He doesn't walk around with an EpiPen. But I tell you something, in both our households, Zyrtec is like everywhere, man. Right? So I need to make sure that I have antihistamines everywhere, all the time.
Correct. So people who have this can abstain.
Yeah, so
that
we
there are
need-
special cases that
I
are
don't know
made.
how it's going to be distributed, whether it's going to be going to our neighborhood GPs or
Yes, you
or
obviously
doctors.
can't do it
Correct.
yourself.
So
Yeah.
what
So
you're,
we-
Okay, let
you're
me-
saying, let's make it mandatory.
I
It should
think
be.
so.
Okay.
If you really want to
Let me just say
open
this,
up.
guys. Okay, let me just say this. This is the government's stance now. Okay? Doesn't mean they won't change it if they see that it's necessary. I
If
believe
not even
that,
60% take the vaccine.
I
Yeah.
believe that they're going to monitor this. And one of the reasons why I think they don't want to make it mandatory is simply because there has not been long-term trials. The government is very, very careful. HSA is incredibly careful. Whenever they mandate something, they want to look at all of the clinical data to make sure that, okay, over 10 years, this has been what it is. It's just not possible with a vaccine that is not, with a disease
But-
that's not even then. So, but they're going to monitor the situation, and if they feel that it is necessary, they can make it mandatory.
Correct. So, Gilbert,
okay? So I don't think it's important
It's
for us to discuss
decide-
now
No, but
what
just,
we
just
think
to
it should
end
be.
the sort of just finish this discussion, we are looking at a situation, and I'm just going to be the kind of devil's advocate and saying, if I'm the government and I'm looking at it and saying, yes, I know it is going to work, but you have that 0.000%, which is not yet tested or whatever reason. So am I looking back and saying, look, at the end of the day, this is your personal choice. Once that choice is made, I, the government, am not going to take responsibility for it.
What do you mean take responsibility
No,
for it?
in the sense, if something is mandatory, you do it. I mean, there were people who were exercising and then they had the mask and they couldn't breathe, but it was mandatory. Now you're saying the vaccine is not mandatory. And I'm just trying to understand whether this will work if it is not mandatory, like Chris said.
I think that all the epidemiological experts have already looked at this, and they are for the time being,
Yeah.
it's not mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
You
so
know what I
don't
like?
think-
I like that in some countries, and there are important political figures and celebrities who are all making a stand by having the vaccine
Yes.
first, just like our
I
ministers
think
are.
even more
I think
important
that will send a
is
positive message.
I think even more important is for the government to really crack down on misinformation and disinformation that is spreading, and on anti-vaxxers. I think that's more dangerous.
So
okay?
we need
rather than mandating it.
Correct.
Yes.
So we need public engagement and trust at all levels
Yeah,
of the
and also
community.
to quash people who are out there spreading nonsense, because there are people out there spreading nonsense. There is an anti-vaxxer movement in the world that is very dangerous, that really manufactures and distorts information, that comes up with bizarre conspiracy theories that have got no grounding in reality, but which many people believe in for their own bizarre reasons.
Correct.
Thankfully, this group of crackpots is not strong in Singapore, but the internet being what it is, this kind of information does spread, and even people of goodwill will stupidly read and share. I caught a friend of mine doing this and asked her about it, and she says, whether true or not true, I don't know, but better to share, right? I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. What if someone was to say that, when you cheated people of money and then spread this around, and then someone said, and I said, I don't know whether it's true or not that she cheated people of money, but better to share lah.
No, so
Doesn't
what
work that way, you know.
I agree. So what we are saying is that we have to seriously address the issue that contribute to this vaccine hesitancy.
Yes.
And we have to be very critical. It's very critical to increase the uptake.
But you know what?
So yeah, on
You know
that,
what's so sad? What is so sad is some Singaporeans are behaving like Trumpers.
Yes.
You know, it's really ridiculous. Now, tomorrow, Mike Pence is making a public thing about this whole thing. He's going to be vaccinated tomorrow. Next week, Biden will be.
Yeah, so is
You know?
Obama and
Yeah.
all of them.
So-
and our ministers too.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on now. If you know that there is already something to help, just bloody get it done. Okay?
Again, the bottom line for people who are concerned, first of all, you're not going to be given this in a kit for you to inject yourself at home. You have to go and see a doctor. Talk to your doctor about your own health. The doctor will say, hey, do you have any allergies? What have you been allergic to before? They will do all of this vetting for you. So you don't have to worry, if the clinical trials tested people as young as 12 up to age of 91. So they know that, tens
What are
of
the
thousands of
results?
people,
Yeah.
it's safe, right? But talk to your own doctor about your own conditions. Bring it up. Hey, I'm allergic to house dust. I get breakout in hives when I eat eggs, blah, 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 and all of that.
Sounds like me,
Okay,
man.
so
Sounds like
yeah,
me.
so on this
wonder it's
note,
always scratching.
the fact is,
shut up.
people will make their own choices. But what is really exciting is that phase 3 is going to begin on 28 December.
Hey, wait there. I want
And
to ask
it's
something.
time-
Why you move there so fast? Relax first. Gilbert, so after we get vaccine, do we still have to wear masks?
Yes, of course.
Then you-
Remember
okay,
the
so
analogy
I
I
said-
gave?
wait,
your
wait,
front door
wait,
versus your dog.
You're not listening.
I am listening. That's why I'm
Mask
asking
is
Okay,
the
okay,
door,
okay,
the
let him
guard.
I tell you, auntie, can you wait? Give me a while.
Grandma.
So let me ask you. So if we get vaccinated,
Yes.
and let's say 60% of the population gets vaccinated, this mask wearing thing is permanent for life.
For
it's not.
now.
And-
no.
and-
For now.
No, let me explain to you. It's very easy for people to wonder, how does this pandemic going to play out? You have to look at the first country that had the pandemic, that's China. People in China right now are not wearing masks anymore.
So
Life
the
is
people in
more
New
like
Zealand
that.
as well and Australia.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that is not the situation yet in Singapore, because Singapore government is very, very careful.
Correct.
To answer your question, if you have got the vaccine, it means that your body the virus cannot replicate in your body.
Right.
It does not mean that you can't still carry the virus and spread it to someone who is not vaccinated.
yeah.
Okay.
So therefore,
The
you
others
still
have to be vaccinated.
So basically, the
too.
others who are not vaccinated are a bunch of bloody idiots, and they should bloody get it done,
Or
right?
they
Otherwise, we have
cannot.
to wear
the
masks
ones who
forever,
are
right?
allergic like you, because you won't get the vaccination because you're allergic.
Yeah.
You goddamn better wear your mask.
Yeah. Everyone
And on
needs to wear a
that
mask.
note,
So let's say, for example, I've got let's say, Chris, let's say for example, I have the virus, okay, but I've gotten vaccinated, so I'm okay. My body is not going to replicate the virus, but I've still got the virus for 14 days. You can't get the vaccination because you're allergic to it.
because you're allergic.
If I don't wear a mask, you can catch it that that
will
way.
catch
So
it.
you can't. The mask wearing is still necessary.
Absolutely.
Until a certain point.
No, and
but
that point
there is
will
an
come.
end to it.
Yeah, the
There
point
is
will
an end
come,
to it.
and we will know. And on that point,
Yes.
Wait, which is where, since we're talking about my allergies, do you know that my piles are contagious?
I've
you have
got a
to rub a certain
vaccine.
part of yourself.
I've got a vaccine.
For those of you who are still
we shall
curious about
move
this,
on.
there will be a Health Zone episode about vaccines coming.
And piles.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. Back to phase 3. Excited. Opening on December 28th. You can have 8 people with you. You're going to be back with your families and friends who you missed for so long. And how is it going to be? How is it going to change? How do you foresee things changing in 2021? Yes, Chris, you're going to party with 8 people.
No.
What are you going to do in phase 3? How is it going to change your life? Is it
I can have my full-on meeting in my office for work,
no more Zoom?
thankfully.
Oh, damn, you've got only 8 people you want
I
to
mean,
work
at least
with?
I'm moving to a new office. So
Okay.
so it's a good time, you know. But I think what's more important is that I hope, for example, because, you know, MBS is going to have a concert, right? But for 500 packs, you know.
Really?
But in
Yesterday in the
Oh,
studio.
with the
50.
zones.
Yeah,
The
zones.
zones.
Yesterday in the studio
The outing.
on my other show, I had a guest here, and these people are performing for that concert. And you know, the artists, they're all going to be performing. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think it's time to bring some music back into the soul of this country. And at the same time, maybe, just maybe, we can start shooting shows with a live audience. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, they're already
That's what I'm looking forward
There
to.
are people online who are very angry about this.
You know,
Oh.
sour.
About the opening up
Yes.
from 5 to 8?
Yeah, not just 5 to 8, but just going. They really do believe that restaurants should not be open. People should not be going on these cruises to nowhere. That, you know, there should not be any concerts. You know, basically.
These people are very smelly, you know. Not? Can you smell them?
Well, I
They're stinky poo.
I
really.
just think that
They're the
it's-
kind of people who I think live their lives in great fear and
Yeah.
don't take risks.
Yeah,
they're going to be taking
they
that
only know
vaccine.
missionary.
Huh? Gilbert, they're going to be taking
Even
that
that,
vaccine
yes.
first. Because once they get the vaccine, then they can be out there. But it's tempting to think of 2021 with complete optimism. But I do want to say that it's best that we tread carefully,
Of course.
caution ourselves, and not become
I do
rash.
want to point out basically one thing that PM Lee said, which I think is very true. He said that phase 3 is possible because of the unity of Singaporeans. If you keep in mind that back in March and April, we had over 1,000 cases a day. And now, luckily, we're down to 0 cases. And that Singaporeans have complied with the spirit, not just the letter of the rules, by getting used to the inconvenient restrictions and finding ways to carry on with life. So I think this spirit needs to continue, because in phase 3, you do not want to have any kind of relapse. You just have to look at countries around the world to
It's
see
the
how
fines
easily-
lah. What
But
spirit?
Gilbert, did you hear about
The both need to go
illegal
together.
gathering, which was reported in the Straits Times today? The illegal gathering that have been happening in places like Golden Mile,
Yep, yep.
and there are more than 30 people. They are there in these cramped rooms,
Yep,
and
yep.
they are celebrating. So yes, and they're having a lot of spirits. So I think for people
Different
like
kind of
that,
spirit, yeah.
we've got to remind them that please don't do this, because it's going to affect us all.
Yes.
This 50-year-old lady wanted to celebrate her birthday of her boyfriend. Yes, well, you know, hey, go ahead. But now with 8 people and not those 30 people cramped in that room.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be phase 3. All of us are looking forward to it. And I suggest even those who are upset with the news, try to get with the program and enjoy and loosen up.
Yeah,
and
go
meet
and tickle
friends.
yourself somewhere so you can be happy.
Okay, so should we move on to the next topic? Jingle in the pockets of some of those who have been unemployed for the past 3 months. The government is there to help out. Once again, I'm going to ask Chris.
Jingle in the pockets, huh? I don't know, but in my mind, I
I
keep thinking something else. Jingle in the... Oh, you mean money, coins, okay.
Alama, you
Right.
very slow lah.
I don't know, but what other things
Okay.
could be in my pocket? Well, anyway,
So it's not bad news. Help is on the way. And, we just want to talk to you about how unemployed Singaporeans can apply for COVID-19 recovery grant, which starts on January 18, 2021.
This is a new grant.
Yeah.
It's called the CRG, the COVID Recovery Grant.
Yeah.
It gives $700 a month for 3 months, and then $500 a month for, is it 5 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got to wear my glasses. For 3 months. So this is good. I think that the conditions are there. I think that it's important to keep in mind for everyone that if you don't qualify for this, don't fudge it and try to apply for it.
Yes.
With the self-employed scheme, there were people who are now being asked to pay back money because they investigated and found that, they were not eligible for it. And this, after all, is Singapore. So rules do apply and don't play.
But that's right. I mean, if you start doing this, people
take
who
advantage of
really
the grants.
need it will suffer. So this is a good one. And those who are going to get help, I hope this really helps you to tide over your new year. And, it's good beginning for the new year. Now, there's some sad stories for the new year as well, for this year, 2020. And we've got to remember some of the brands who shut down in the year
Because of
2020 because of COVID. And I'm sure I'm going to tell you some of which are some of these brands that shut down, because every Singaporean is going to have some nostalgic story about the shops and the restaurants that have closed down in 2020. At least they've been a part of our local scene. Some member of the family will have gone and experienced this. And I'm going to tell you which are these places that have closed down. Of course, iconic one, which all of us know, which all of us going to miss, Robinson. Then there's Top Shop, there's Bakerzine, Esprit, Prima Tower, Revolving Restaurant, Sports Link, Changi Village, Raintree Hotel, Fire Bake Restaurant, Antoinette, Kyushin Bo, and Super Park. So, Chris, tell us. Share
familiar with
one
all
of
of
these
these?
stories.
Not
all,
but
but
most.
at least.
Not all, but most. I'll tell you the one that hits me the hardest, and then the rest that will come after that. Robinsons, man.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
I've been carrying a Robinsons card since 1995.
Wow.
And I really don't know what they're going to be doing. The relevant bank is going to be doing with my card now moving forward. It's the only damn card I own.
But Chris,
I don't believe in having too many credit cards.
Really?
But
yes.
Chris,
The only credit card you have is Robinson's credit card.
Yeah, I give up the rest, man.
Wow.
I don't believe in having too
You
much
have to apply
credit.
for another one.
But Robinson
looks
was
like
the
it, huh?
first mall that I went into when I came from India to Singapore.
Where
And
was
I
it? The
was
one
in
at Huron?
awe. No, the one at Center Point.
Center Point.
And I was like in awe. And ever since, all my bed sheets and towels are from there. Those smiling staff, those ladies.
Robinsons
it was
to me,
very iconic.
Robinsons to me is so much history.
Yes.
My mattresses, man, through the years since I got married, have been all come from
Yes,
Robinsons.
the bed sheets,
Wow.
the towels.
My shoes that I buy, my dress shoes for work, I buy off from Robinsons.
Well,
And
obviously,
every year,
you wouldn't know, but you would know that even before Center Point, it used to be down by Raffles Place.
Yeah.
In the 60s, and the big Robinson fire.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
killed people.
Yeah, the Robinsons
that's
fire.
I was a
very
kid
sad.
when that happened. I remember
Yeah,
that.
you're right. I wasn't there. I was
and
there for the Center
and then
Point.
even as a kid, even as a teen, my dates, I for some reason, man, I take them out to Robinsons. Yeah. Don't really. I mean, look, as 16, 17, 18-year-olds on dates, where do you go? You walk around the malls, you go to a Denny's and you have dinner. For
You didn't
$20
have a-
you can have dinner at
didn't
I
have
Denny's.
brought them to
Car.
Robinson to test mattresses.
Yes, test the mattress.
That's where he gets them from, he
Okay,
said.
Oh, you're
what about
very
you?
clever today, huh?
Again,
And then-
go
That
on.
day.
At the same time, you have places like Prima Tower.
That's a revolving restaurant.
Yeah, the revolving
Yes,
restaurant. And
I
Changi
don't-
Village,
I don't
Raintree.
remember that.
Then never been there.
Oh, really?
What
You know,
is it?
I
It's a
remember.
hotel.
Yeah.
I remember we used to go to, the family used to go to Suntec to watch films. And then we used to always see this ad. We never went to this place called Kyushin Bo, but that ad used to come on, and it was an assault on the senses, I have to say.
Oh, do
and my son clearly remembers that cheesy ad even now. So it was, like, ton ton ton. 1, 2, 3. We are Kushin Bio. Ton ton ton. I'm really
Oh, really?
telling-
Okay.
And
know,
I feel
fire
quite
bake.
sad that I didn't go and ever try out the place.
Fire Bake,
Fire Bake,
located
yeah.
along just at Katong.
That's a pizza place?
No, it's not. It's not. It's a fantastic place. They got great breads and everything is made in house. So they use wood fire, man. And then to build the ovens. And I know the guy who helped set the whole gig up, and it was a lot of damn hard work just to get it all right. And it's always crowded. But, even prior to Firebake occupying that premise before was this place called Carlton Restaurant. I was personally sad when Carlton went. After decades and
Carlton
decades.
Restaurant is not the one in Carlton Hotel.
No. This is just across the road from Lorong Stanji.
Okay.
It's in Katong. And then when Carlton closed down, Firebake took over. And Firebake was great. And then now it's gone. And, it's really
Well,
darn
I mean,
sad,
there-
man.
there's
Do you
so
remember
many-
any of these? Do you have?
Well, obviously,
Gilbert?
I know Top Shop, Bakers Inn,
Top
Robinson.
Yeah, Bakers Inn and
right,
Top Shop,
Top
yeah.
Shop.
Yeah.
You know how I remember Top Shop? Because my daughter, it was one of those fashion brands, which was, you could actually buy it and feel like you're wearing a designer brand.
But Top Shop is a London brand. It's still around in London. It's just a Singapore one.
Yeah,
that
but it was
closed, right?
affordable
Yeah.
for the young girls. And I remember she used to, when you go to school or you go for events, a lot of the girls will be wearing the same tops. And they used
because
to love
you could buy simple cocktail dresses for cheap.
Yes,
you can
yes.
buy blazers and jackets for cheap. So when you're prom
And they
nights
looked
and all
cute.
that.
They
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
in and fashionable.
I
and
used to buy
cool.
some stuff from Top Shop as well.
Bakers Inn is very interesting because it's a Singapore brand,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they really did try very hard. And I remember they had an ota roll that was really good.
It started in, if I'm not mistaken, it started first at Millennium Walk. Yeah, and it was owned by a lawyer or something, or a bunch of lawyers, and then eventually they sold the business.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that time. That was in about 2002,
Yes.
2003.
Yes, and they were down by China Square as well.
Yeah.
So we are going to miss these places. We are.
Yeah, you can see
Very
that there have
fondly.
been, a
What's
lot
Christmas,
of
man?
effects of
What's Christmas without Robinsons, man? You know what I mean?
They used
know-
to have Santa sitting out there and those carols.
Yeah,
and all
but that was
with
Center
the
Point. That was
jingle,
Center Point. That's
Santa.
just for the
I remember
Salvation
Santa,
Army,
yeah,
right?
and they used to
But-
jingle, jingle, jingle.
What's Christmas without Robinsons? I just don't feel it, man.
Yeah, you can really see that COVID's taken its toll, and even in the decorations this year, Tangs, for example, which is another iconic Singapore department store, I remember that from my childhood, is also having very plain Christmas decorations this year. Usually they have fantastic Christmas decorations
Correct.
outside of their store, but this year it's just really sparse.
And
Yeah.
so once again, we hope that slowly this will be a thing of the past. And as we move on into the new year,
Yep.
Chinese New Year and the festivities coming, it's going to be different. It's going to be celebratory.
we hope so.
But now we go to the
Another local story.
the story which is my favorite because it's Idiot of the Week story. And I'm just going to start off by giving you a hint because there was a parked car with two people inside, allegedly
In a parking garage.
in the car park,
Yeah.
allegedly seen shaking violently at this empty car park. And there was somebody recording a video about what was happening in the shaking car. And this story has to go to one and only
Of course.
handsome Chris Henson.
A couple was in the front of their vehicle, parked at seems to me to be an HDB multi-story car park, and obviously there are flats in and around that car park, and this bloody idiot, this Kote of the Week, and it's not the couple, the Kote of the Week with a damn camera phone was videoing, right, another Kote. And but
lots
he's
of
also
Kote.
another Kote because it's a bloody broad daylight, dude. I mean, come
But
on.
tell us, why was the car
Yeah.
shaking violently?
Of course, because they were the horizontal boogaloo.
Okay, that's
So naturally, when they're doing that, right, the car would be shaking. Believe it, because I
one-
would know I had to change my damn suspensions once
Okay,
before.
so one Kotek was filming the other Kotek doing the boogaloo.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
and then and there was this video, and we've all watched the video.
Actually, I haven't.
Are you kidding me, man?
Yeah,
You're gonna get conjunctivitis because you're gonna see butt crack, man. You're gonna see a real big butt crack, and clothes coming off and stuff. right? And then the person who was videoing it was also sniggering away. So obviously,
And he
damn
continued
voyeur, right?
enjoying it, yeah.
Leave these people alone because they might not want to get into a hotel room
Yeah.
because they're worried about COVID. What's the safer
Or they
place?
just want to save
So
cost.
just cut costs, do it in the car. Yep, it is illegal. You get caught, you can get in trouble, no doubt. But the dumbass thing about these two is that
The
they could have
dumbass
just waited.
thing
Yeah,
about him
yeah,
is
but
that
the
he was
dumbass,
showing his ass.
the dumbass was showing his butt, his ass. Should have just thought about telling her, darling, tonight when the sun goes down,
Or you've got, those sunscreen.
I can give him
which
some
you can
locations where you can
put
go to
on.
where it's quite kind of private too. You know what I mean?
But
the thing is,
Chris,
come
in your
on.
days, were there all these voyeurs going around, Kotex going
No,
around
but you
with
see,
cameras?
Daisy, that is the
No,
point.
because there were
that
no such thing called phone
nowadays-
cameras back in the day.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it was safer, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's silly. What's the joy of you taking a video of these 2?
Mm-hmm.
You might as well go take a video of yourself going doing it with whoever it is you're doing it with and post it online.
Yeah.
Damn it!
I think this is part of the problem of the kind of cyber vigilantes, and when people have an outlet to spread videos like this.
But bro, they called the cops, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, stop it, lah. If you take a video and post it, it's bad enough. Then you call the cops.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
self-righteous
No,
piece
Very
of monkey
self-righteous.
crap.
And the cops
Yep.
came in, and you could see this guy coming on, putting his shirt
Yeah, yeah.
on.
Poor
Must
guy.
be really malu.
Poor-
I don't know
poor
what
girl.
happened to the girl. Yes, that would be really, really embarrassing.
It's really stupid. Really.
I think people really need to mind their own business, especially
Yeah.
in something like this where no one is being harmed. And you can't say that, oh, what if children are walking by and all of that? Because it was in a secluded parking
Yeah,
lot.
they
you know,
probably did
Not
their
with locked
best.
doors.
Secluded enough
Yeah.
from
No,
these
because
voyeurs.
someone was on a high-rise building across using a zoom lens to
Yeah.
film, And if you go around looking for this, I'm sure you can find, again, this goes back again to the whole absurdity of people not being able to walk around naked in their own apartment.
Exactly.
Because the neighbor across the way
Exactly.
is looking in.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? So I think for
Idiots.
those people...
No wonder
who-
curtains are so expensive
Precisely.
in Singapore.
I think-
I'm so conscious walking around in my dingling nowadays at home.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, you
for,
mean-
for people like this, on the one hand, if you need to do it, please make sure that no one is around, even from far away, because people can zoom in. And for the people who see these things,
Zooming
if you
in on
don't
a
want to
ding-a-ling.
see this,
Yeah.
don't look. Don't take out your camera and film it and then call the police.
Gilbert-
you're not helping anybody.
Gilbert, keep your dingling safe too, man.
Okay.
Always.
All right, yeah. So
Yes.
on Kotek of the week, which Kotek is a worst Kotek?
So cute,
you
the way she
decide.
says that. The way she says Kotek, very cute.
Yeah.
Kotek!
Well,
Or the
you-
Kotek of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, so you decide which was the worst Kotek. But
Okay.
Now, Gilbert, would you like to close?
Yes. Are you guys going to go first? You have anything to say?
Well, for me,
Yeah, I do, of course. I have my
good.
song quote, man.
oh, song.
Yes, please.
Sing,
Okay, it's something I want to.
sing a song.
Oh gosh. Okay.
we-
it's about all like Robinsons and all that's gone, and I really love this song by the Beatles. It's called "In My Life,"
Yes.
and I just want to make this a little poignant for these guys. Robinsons, I'm really gonna miss you guys. And it goes something like this: There are places I'll remember all my life, though some have changed. Some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead, and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all.
Yeah. Beautiful song.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes,
And beautiful
I-
lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, I
So,
just want to say
Daisy?
that it's a festive time, and as we approach the new year, I really want to wish each and every one of you happiness and all round well being. It's been a dark 2020, but COVID has taught us some vital lessons about what should be our true priorities in life. So do reflect upon that. And as Singapore turns the corner, there's hope in prayers and gratitude. And remember, no matter how hard the past is, you always begin again. So, yeah, let's hope for good beginnings.
Very good. So, for my final words this week, pointing out again to the vaccines, which we are hoping will help bring us back to a normal world. And we can only do this really if people educate themselves and do not spread misinformation and disinformation, and don't be stupid about things. There's a saying which I think is very true, is that the devil's greatest trick has been to convince people he doesn't exist. And it's the same thing with viruses. People who deny the existence of viruses, who don't think that they are a threat, who think that they are going to be safe, they're the ones that really are in danger and put our society in danger. So let's be educated about this. Let's be on the side of science. Again, with everything that we've talked about today, the common theme has been don't spread misinformation and be kind. That's the thing.
1, 2,
2,
3.
3. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. With Daisy and Gilbert and
Chris.
beer.
Beer.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thanks a lot, guys. Happy holidays.
Nice.
We will not be here next week.
Yep.
We will see you
In the new year.
In the new year.
We'll see you in 2021.
Yes.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Happy Christmas.
Stay safe. Be kind.